Hey, this is rsheldon with Suburban Mortgage, and I'm here with Ann Adams, not only one of the real amazing realtors, but also realtor broker. She owns Ann Adams and Associates. I wanted to share some of my thoughts about Ann. I think the thing that I enjoy most about working with her is that her level of communication with the clients, her level of communication with me as the lender, and her genuine concern that the customer get the right house, because she wants to make sure that that purchase is the right purchase. I want to introduce Ann Adams. I not only love working with her and her entire team, but through our association, we're developing a good, solid friendship as well. So I'd like you to meet Ann Adams.
Hi, I'm Ann Adams, Adams and Associates Realty. Been in business for 16 years. Love working with Rick and Suburban Mortgage. I feel like when I have a client that needs a pre-qualification letter quickly because, or we need to change something, because of course, when we're writing a pre-qual, a lot of times we want to match it to the offer. So
Yes.
maybe they're qualified for $500 and we found the perfect house at $400,000. I prefer to have that pre-qualification closer to what our offer is, so I don't want to give the seller too much room to negotiate back with us.
Right.
Another thing that I've seen Rick do that is a tremendous effort on his part is to make a call to that cross agent. So if I'm working with a buyer, he makes a call to the listing agent and really tells a great story about how great the buyer is. Says, hey, they're really well qualified and we think that they'll close easily. They have a great job, great income, great credit, and all of those things, or whatever he can build behind the person that we're making the offer with. That really helps. And there's maybe multiple offers involved. We're gonna win the offer. And in contrast, sometimes there's maybe a VA buyer that's 0% down, but you can really pull at the heartstrings of a seller or a listing agent by just telling them about the service that the vet has performed, and maybe they're 0 down, but they served our country and this is where they served, and telling their background story.
And
We love
solidly
that.
qualified. That's
Yeah.
the best part. The funnest part when I talk to Ann's counterparts on the sales end of it, I'll tell them, and I mean it, that I would love to clone Ann's clients, because the way Ann sets them up to communicate with me, but more importantly, when we need documentation from Ann's clients, they provide the documentation immediately.
One of the biggest things I can always stress with the buyers that I try to set Rick up for success too is, hey, when Rick asks you for something, it's a fire. Consider that it needs to be done in the next 24 hours, because when you drag your feet, you're jeopardizing your earnest money, your close date, and all kinds of problems down the road. For him to be a success, you need to treat his requests for documentation as an urgent request. And I think that helps everything go a lot more smoothly.
We are just in the process of trying to discover how we're going to change the way mortgage companies and realtors work together. Because for me, it seems that historically, mortgage people always have their hand out to realtors. Give me a deal, give me a deal, give me a deal. And it's very rare that the mortgage lender offers services to the realtor that would take some of the burden off his or her shoulders.
I think it's a heck of a lot more for a lender like yourself to reach out to me and say, by building your business, I'm building mine. It's a mutually beneficial act for me to actually take action and develop your leads or develop new leads. But if you don't ever reciprocate, there's not really a lot of value for a real estate agent in that
Agreed.
relationship.
Agreed.
But when you reciprocate by helping me do videos for my business, helping me do a blog, helping me reach out to my past clients or my current clients and do additional follow-up, and you're actually helping me cultivate my business, and that's a long-term effort. And what's difficult for me, or has been in the past, is when I offer a lead to a lender and they do nothing and they cultivate it. They call them one time. And I think that it's good to work with a lender that has your best interest at heart and that you feel personally connected with. I mean, I get calls literally every week, and a lot of agents do, but the easiest thing for me to say in return when I'm getting those calls is, I treat my relationships with my vendors like I do my relationship with my family. I don't have a desire to work with 5 different lenders. It's too difficult for me to manage that many relationships,
right,
to be honest. And when I need a special favor from I feel like I can reach out to you and ask you for a special favor. Like, can you help me with this particular client? They might need more hand-holding and that type of thing. Or, hey, this is urgent. I need to write an offer now. There's other offers on the table. Can you drop what you're doing and help me out? Of course, I don't want to abuse that. I know you have a family, but sometimes that's how real estate is. So we got to be ready to act.
We use a little thing when we send out emails that we want to work when you're working, and we want to be there when you need us most. And that means taking those calls on Saturday nights, Sundays, because this market, I still think it's a great market. It's compressed. There's certain areas of our market, we talk about all the time, the homes from the 180s to the 280s, that's a compressed market, hugely competitive, and getting that offer out right away can be the difference between your client getting that home.
And another topic that Rick and I have talked about recently is the point of service. If you ever go to a company and let's say hypothetically you're transferred 5 times, you have to talk to 5 different people and you never accomplish what you want to accomplish because they're completely incompetent. I think we both believe in keeping our education level as high as possible so we can deliver the best service. You've given examples of how a lot of times your online vendors that are offering loans to people are not really telling you the whole story. They're kind of telling you a really low interest rate, but they're not telling you all the details of the loan. And in the end of the day, you may be paying more or the same rate as you would for somebody that's competent and can offer you good service. Real estate runs into the same situation. I mean, there's these big investment groups that are coming in and making it real easy on somebody to sell their house in 24 hours. But what the seller doesn't really see is maybe they're not paying commission, but they're nickeled and dimed so much that they're actually losing 20 grand more than they would have had they listed with a good real estate agent with experience. And I think people don't really appreciate competency when it comes to lending or real estate until they've actually worked with somebody that's terrible and has cost them money and a legal battle and poor disclosure and poor negotiating. So you don't really appreciate a good agent until you've had a bad one, and the same goes for you as a lender.